Hello, today is May 27th, 2020, and we're here with Mrs. Ping Sun for the Houston Asian American Archive. Thank you so much for your time and being interviewed for this COVID-19 project and contributing your voice at this time. So first, I wanted to ask, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I hope you are doing well too.
Thank you. I know you've been working hard to help the Houston community through donating N95 masks to the medical center, as well as being on the Greater Houston COVID-19 Recovery Fund Task Force. Can you talk a little bit about what you've been doing?
Sure. In terms of donating masks to the medical center is really a very minor thing. It's just a friend sent us some N95 masks, and I feel like the front liner, the doctors and nurses, they need those masks much more than we do. So that's why I discussed it with the family, and they all agree with me that these masks should go to the hospitals rather than, being kept by us for our private use. And I know there are many other people out there have done exactly the same thing. In terms of Greater Houston COVID-19 Recovery Fund, this is a fund set up by both United Way Greater Houston and Greater Houston Community Foundation, these two nonprofit organizations, to support the families and people in need in this pandemic. And this is also basically a joint effort for the city of Houston and Harris County. Actually, the fund not only covers Houston and Harris County, but it also covers a couple of other counties as well, such as Fort Bend County. So far, we've done 2 distributions. The first distribution, it was $1.5 million going to 30 nonprofit organizations. It was mainly covering the basic needs for food. And the second round was just actually approved by the task force on May 21st. The second round was larger, and the second round was over $8 million, $8.15 or so million going to 65 nonprofit organizations, again, mainly to cover basic needs. So that's just kind of the landscape of this fund.
Okay, yeah. So for the first round, I researched that they were trying to serve vulnerable families and communities. And so I wanted to ask, what communities is the Recovery Fund trying to help?
This covers, I would say, mostly low-income families, and it also includes some Asian organizations such as Boat People and Chinese Community Center, of course, Baker Ripley, and we also have East Harris County Empowerment Council, Easter Seals, Fort Bend Seniors, Meals on Wheels, and also Humboldt Area Assistance Ministries. So it has the 30 recipients, the nonprofit organizations. It really covers a broad range of the community. It also includes some churches, because they are the frontliners, such as Interfaith Caring Ministries, also Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston, and Montrose Counseling Center. So it really covers a broad range of the community.
Yeah, very diverse list of nonprofits. Was it ever hard for you to help select these nonprofits, or how did you choose these nonprofits?
That's a very good question. Actually, my responsibility, I am on the task force. It consists 7 people, and we do not review the actual applications. The task force responsibility is to provide guidance for the grants committee. So there is also a grants committee that consists of people who are grant staff from the United Way and Greater Houston Community Foundation and a couple of other endowments and foundations, because they review applications all the time, and so they have the expertise and they go through the applications. For instance, the last round, the grants committee received 400 inquiries from nonprofit organizations. Eventually, I think 108 organizations applied. So they went through every application. Wow. Finally, they decided on 65 nonprofit organizations to fund. I know how much work it went into the review, because I had some personal experience. During Harvey, right after Harvey, Mayor Turner and Judge Emmett set up a Hurricane Harvey Relief Fund, and they asked me to serve as a co-chair of the grants committee. So from that work, we review so many applications, and I really know how much work the reviewers have put in, hours and hours of thoughtful analysis going into the review. So I really commend them for a wonderful job they've done. So after they review all the applications, they gave us a list of recommendations. And then the task force members will have a meeting, have a discussion basically, and we will ask questions. Why do you think we need to fund this organization versus that organization? And if so, how much is more appropriate? And so we always have very I wouldn't say heated discussions, but really thoughtful. Everybody expresses his or her opinion, and because we want to see the best use of this fund to help those people who are so in need in this crisis in our community.
And how did you become involved with this task force, and when was it created?
Well, I guess I've been quite involved in the community. I serve on the United Way board, and Texas Children's Hospital, Asia Society, and Teach for America, Herman Park Conservancy. It's really interesting when the former CEO, Anna Babin of United Way, called me, and she said that they were establishing this task force, and 3 people. There will be 7 members, and 3 people will be coming from Greater Houston Community Foundation board and their recommendation, and 3 people will be coming from United Way board. Even though I'm a board member, but they hope that I will be the community representative. because I'm so involved in the community.
Yeah.
And so I just said, definitely, I am happy to serve because I really, truly love this community. Houston is a very special place.
Yeah. And you guys have already amassed like a huge amount of donations. How have you seen the people in the Houston community rise up?
Amazingly.
Yeah.
Um, it, so far, we've raised about $15 million, and
Mm.
um, some like Brown Foundation, Houston Endowment, they all step in, companies and individuals. I'm so proud of the Chow family,
Mm.
and they are so generous. They've given to so many worthy causes in our community, and they are the foundation, the Chow Foundation, the Family Foundation, um, is one of the lead donors to this COVID-19 recovery fund. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank the Chow family members and all the donors,
Mhm.
individuals and corporations and foundations, for their generosity
Yeah.
in giving to this fund. We are all in this together. And so it's very touching to see the generous spirit coming out of our community in helping members of our community.
Yeah. And so I saw online that right now the second round was trying to assist with like domestic violence, which has risen since the quarantine orders, and food insecurity in the homeless population. And
Mhm.
what other areas of concern do you think will emerge, or do you think these will uh, have more like
Mm.
severity?
Well, in addition to those issues you mentioned, we also funded nonprofit helping immigrants.
Mm. Yeah.
We also funded legal um, nonprofit organizations helping the people with no status, and of course, counseling service is another key area. And we are also hoping to um, look into doing some system um, system support funding. In other words, maybe providing some seed money to assist setting up a platform so that in the future, when crises like this happen, the nonprofit organizations will be able to talk to each other, and so that they will be more efficient in helping the people in need.
Okay. And other than monetary donations, how else do you think people can help?
Well, there are, of course, lots of ways
Mm-hmm.
by staying healthy. In itself is a great help, and try to maintain social distancing and wearing masks, and all those things are helpful, and also try to bring awareness, whether through social media or your friend circle. At this juncture, we really need to help each other, and this is probably also a good time to touch base with some friends. For instance, I have a friend, we worked at the same law firm, but ever since I left, and we really didn't have you know contacted each other, but because of this pandemic, and we reconnected. So this is another way of staying healthy, staying upbeat, And basically, I feel if we all abide by the CDC recommendations and guidelines, and we will be helping this whole situation a lot. And it's really hard to see. I know people all have cabin fevers. They are kind of quarantine for a while, and they all want to rush out as soon as you say, okay, the beach is open and the swimming pool is open. There are pictures of people crowding into a swimming pool, and I'm not sure that's the best way of dealing with the situation right now.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, how has your personal life been affected by the pandemic?
Personal life, it's well, I have an extended family. Right now, we are separated, even though we're only like three minutes drive, from each other. My father, brother, and sister, and nephew, they all are in the townhouse. So they used to come over for dinner all the time, but now they haven't been coming over for more than 2 months now. And so basically, my mother is here with us, and David, and I have 2 kids. They are all, one is a senior, is about to graduate tomorrow, actually, from Rise of the North. And
yeah.
And also, his girlfriend is also here, a fellow classmate. And so we are planning some graduation, celebration for them. And but of course, just the 6 of us. And what happened was, few at the beginning of the quarantine, my daughter found a cat, a stray cat, who had 5 kittens in our backyard.
Oh my gosh.
So the children took on the responsibility of feeding the cats. Of course, at the beginning, I had to venture into PetSmart to buy cat foods. I don't even go into grocery store. I just do the curbside pickup. But so I ventured in and got all the cat food. And so for the past 2 months, the cat family, we named Mama Mia. And so they provided kind of distraction, but also kind of hope in this situation. New life comes into the world, and we know this pandemic will be over hopefully soon. But whatever situation we are in, we have to remember life goes on. And so we were able to, after Mama Mia kind of stopped nursing all the kittens, we were able to get all 5 kittens families. And so they were all adopted a few days ago. About 2 weeks ago, I took Mama Mia to get her all the shots and also have her spayed, and so that there won't be additional stray cats running around. And a few days ago, we were able to get Mama Mia adopted as well. It's just unfortunate that we cannot have a cat in the house because my son is allergic to cats. And also after things get back to normal, we do have quite a bit of events at the house, and a number of guests are allergic to cats, and so that really limits our ability to have cats in the house. So basically, personal life, it's goes on with sometimes with some surprises. And I have been doing some exercise and doing a little bit gardening. It's wonderful. It's very satisfying to see kind of a new growth in your yard.
Well, congratulations to your son.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. To go back a little bit.
Are you a junior or
I'm a rising
senior?
sophomore.
Oh, rising sophomore.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And I think I've met May during one of the training sessions for Hall. So,
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, to go
She's
back a little
taking
bit.
some summer classes.
Yeah, yeah. So you're a board member for Teach for America, and you're involved with the Texas Children's Hospital. Have any COVID-19 related issues arisen?
Yes. When we have board meetings, it seems to me the last couple of board meetings, most of the time, people were concentrating on COVID-19. How it's unfortunate that everybody, every organization has been affected by COVID-19, but in terms of hospital and education, they are affected more so. But I have to say the Children's Hospital under the leadership of Mark Wallace, they've done a great job in terms of anticipating the needs for sort of quarantine beds, and they are also very diligent in their supply of PPEs. And when other hospitals needed some help, and Texas Children's Hospital stepped up to help the other hospitals by providing PPEs to them. So also, of course, Teach for America, it's this pandemic really affected how how to train new teachers. Normally, the training institute will be going on, but this year the training institute will be virtual, and we're still discussing how they can get the teaching experience, because normally when you decide to do Teach for America, you join the summer academy, you get trained, and then you go out to a school to practice, to get some practical experience. And so this year everything is different, so we just have to adapt to the new situation and see what's the best way to train our future teachers.
Yeah, COVID has really changed like a lot of things. How do you think COVID has impacted the perceptions of Asian Americans and especially Chinese Americans?
Unfortunately, there is a lot of misunderstanding out there, and people, some people blame Asian Americans, especially Chinese Americans, for COVID-19. Well, I think this, if you look at the history, kind of history repeats itself.
Yeah.
And at each point, a certain ethnic group was being targeted. And that's why I feel this is so important for each one of us, to the best ability we can, to help sort of dispel this kind of misunderstanding by doing our best in helping people in the community. And you know, when the Chinese Americans are out there, like the Chows, they are out there, you know, helping by donating to the recovery fund, and so the Chinese American doctors and nurses are on the front line, and you know, the Chinese American police are out there keeping the community safe, and so we are all doing our part to demonstrate we are members of this community and we are in this together. And you know, it's not useful for certain people to blame the Chinese Americans, but we cannot give up, right? We have to realize that even though they are wrong in thinking that the Chinese Americans created this problem, and because this can happen to anybody, to any country. And so because now we are in this world that you know, it's no longer a closed country, right? So we have to interact with each other. The international travel will not stop, even though it has slowed down substantially, but it will resume. So I just hope that we will use our action to influence and to to tell the world that who we are. You know, we are a group of very hardworking people, and you know, we want the best for our community, and you know, we will step up when people are in need of our help. I think that's what we can do.
Yeah, very well said. Yeah, sometimes I think people forget that COVID is a disease and now it can affect us all. Do you have any other thoughts that you would like to share?
Well, I just hope that being Asian Americans, we will. I appreciate this, you know, archive, and it's wonderful to record, uh, you know, what Asian Americans have done in combating this COVID-19, not just this one issue, but in terms of this is really history writing. You know, Ha has interviewed many Asian Americans and getting them to tell their stories, and hopefully the stories, the experiences will benefit the young people, you know, for generations to come. And hopefully we will be able to pass on the wisdoms and or the obstacles we've faced, and hopefully the younger generation, because what we've been through, the younger generation will have less obstacles. And you know, I've been trained as a lawyer. I feel like the pioneers, the women lawyers, such as Justice Ginsburg, and they really paved the way, paved the path for me, and for other women lawyers like me. And you know, when Justice Ginsburg first got out of Columbia Law School, she couldn't even get a job. She couldn't even get a legal secretary job at a law firm. And when I graduated from Columbia Law School, I was able to get a very good position at a large law firm in New York. But I never ever forget that this doesn't come by easily. it's the result of so many pioneer women, lawyers or judges and professionals paved the path before me, so that I have had the opportunity to work at a large law firm. So I'm hoping that Ha will thrive and will continue and to record the Asian American stories.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very meaningful, I think. Yeah. So thank you so much that you have done to help the community and that you continue to do. It's very great talking to you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.